The Origins of Money by Carl Menger. Chapter 2 Attempts at Solution Hitherto. Thus far can hardly be claimed for the results of investigation into the problem above stated that they are commensurate either with the great development in historic research generally, or with the outlay of time and intellect expended in efforts at solution. The enigmatic phenomenon of money is even at this day without an explanation that satisfies, nor is there yet agreement on the most fundamental questions of its nature and functions. Even at this day we have no satisfactory theory of money. The idea which lay first to hand for an explanation of the specific function of money as a universal current medium of exchange was to refer to a general convention or a legal dispensation. The problem which science has here to solve consists in giving an explanation of a general homogeneous course of action pursued by human beings when engaged in traffic, which, taken concretely, makes unquestionably for the common interest, and yet which seems to conflict with the nearest and immediate interests of contracting individuals. Under such circumstances, what could lie more contiguous than the notion of referring the foregoing procedure to causes lying outside the sphere of individual considerations? To assume that certain commodities, the precious metals in particular, had been exalted into the medium of exchange by general convention or law, in the interest of commonweal, solved the difficulty, and solved it apparently the more easily and naturally inasmuch as the shape of the coin seemed to be a token of state regulation. Such in fact is the opinion of Plato, Aristotle, and the Roman jurists, closely followed by the medieval writers. Even the more modern developments in the theory of money have not in substance got beyond this standpoint. Tested more closely, the assumption underlying this theory gave room to grave doubts. An event of such high and universal significance and of notoriety so inevitable as the establishment by law or convention of a universal medium of exchange would certainly have been retained in the memory of man, the more certainly inasmuch as it would have had to be performed in a great number of places. Yet no historical monument gives us trustworthy tidings of any transactions either conferring distinct recognition on media of exchange already in use, or referring to their adoption by peoples of comparatively recent culture, much less testifying to an initiation of the earliest ages of economic civilization in the use of money. And in fact, the majority of theorists on this subject do not stop at the explanation of money as stated above. The peculiar adaptability of the precious metals for purpose of currency and coining was noticed by Aristotle, Xenophon, and Pliny, and to a far greater extent by John Law, Adam Smith, and his disciples, who all seek a further explanation of the choice made of them as a media of exchange in their special qualifications. Nevertheless, it is clear that the choice of the precious metals by law and convention, even if made in consequence of the peculiar adaptability for monetary purposes, presupposes the pragmatic origin of money and selection of those metals, and that presupposition is unhistorical. Nor do even the theorists above mentioned honestly face the problem that is to be solved, to wit, the explaining how it has come to pass that certain commodities, the precious metals at certain stages of culture, should be promoted amongst the mass of other commodities and accepted as the general acknowledged media of exchange. It is a question concerning not only the origin, but also the nature of money and its position in relation to all other commodities.